This is a fateful day for the United States of America, and the official end of the COVID pandemic brings about the official end of Title 42, and where the border is going to be reopened completely, and not just porous like it's been since the previous presidential administration, but now it's going to be completely wide open, and almost like we're inviting them to be here. We have a serious situation here in San Antonio. It's not a border town, but it's like Little Mexico, and say Little Mexico, but a lot of these people come from other countries, right? And so I'm Patrick Von Dohlen with San Antonio Family Association, standing here with this gentleman, Jon Melendez, and who's been down here at the Migrant Services Center since it opened. And so it's been following things. We were just talking, have to be coming driving by. There's going to be a rally here later today, I think at 5 o'clock. I think the organization is called Beyond Mask, which is a reference to a COVID mask. And we are people beyond mask. And we're called to be a people of community, and because we're not called to be isolated. So we appreciate the fact that these people want to come here. This is the land of opportunity that our forefathers created for us, and it's incumbent upon us to help protect it and our citizens. At the same time, be welcoming people, but citizens come first. Citizens of the United States of America. Back in 1891, Pope Leo XIII wrote a document called Rerum Novarum. It was on a document, an encyclical on labor, and it talked about immigration. And one of the things in the synopsis of what now St. Leo XIII said at that point in time, which was the first time really commenting on labor and immigration of labor, other than the fact that obviously when Jesus was born, King Herod was seeking to kill him, and Jesus and Mary, the Holy Family, fled to Egypt to avoid him being killed. And so we understand the importance of immigration, how it can be sometimes to save your life. The problem is the consequences that are coming from this kind of immigration. But St. Leo XIII talked about in Rerum Novarum that people have a right to migrate. They do. And countries have a right, duty, and an obligation to protect and defend its borders and to regulate who comes in and out for the protection of the people who live there already, really the citizens. And so this is the teaching of the Holy Catholic Church. We need the Archbishop, Gustavo, and the auxiliary bishops and all priests to understand this, to read that document, Rerum Novarum, 1891 by Pope Leo XIII, on labor. How critical that is, that teaching that the positive faith is to apply here, because we're talking about an invasion of our country now, and we're talking about protecting our citizens and at the same time protecting people who come over here, because what comes in a lot is debauchery. There are 83,000 plus missing children, I believe, is one of the latest numbers I've seen. But there is human trafficking, women being used to be raped, to abort their children so they can be raped further and continue that activity. Children that are being marginalized and abused and mistreated, all for the sake of people's personal gratification and for money. And this has to stop. We cannot facilitate this kind of behavior at the same time help people in need. One of the best ways to help people in need is to do what the Good Samaritan did. He helped the person in his country when he was beaten by robbers. He helped him in his country, took him to an inn locally there, paid for his care, and told the innkeeper when he came back, if the man, it would cost more money to take care of the man, which he asked him to take care of the man, it would cost more money, he'd pay him more. But he kept him in his country of origin. And so one of the best things we can do as a country as well is help these people in their country of origin. And we're failing to do that as a nation as well. And sad on our part, but we're at the whims of the current presidential administration in many ways. And so shame on President Biden for not doing what's right and good. So I'm going to go to Jonathan. And John, you've been here since the beginning. Who bases does that start? Like to push the button, but to push the button so make the microphone going. Yeah, the phone never turned on as well. So July 7th of last year it opened up, and then So it was no longer the property of the city of San Antonio. I don't think his energy. It became
late December of 2021. Then officially the Migrant Services Center on July 7th. June thereafter, they went ahead and extinguished the city, and thereafter the city has subleased out.
So Catholic Charities. Hold on a second. All right, there we are. Catholic Charities is a part of the Archdiocese of San Antonio, and that Archdiocese of San Antonio is the Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Sierra. And have you seen him here by chance? And would you know the President Antonio Fernandez? Okay, you know. And so Antonio is a friend and of mine, and he's been charged with a large task of helping these people in doing this. And we're hoping to have him join us at some point in time in the future to visit with us. And right. Show where you're pointing at.
Yeah, right over here. Yeah, what happens is once all the cots are filled up, I believe there's about 600 cots inside, at least there were at that time. Once the cots get filled up, they have them sleep on the floor inside the building. And then once the floor space is fully occupied, they have whoever's left over sleep outside there on the pavement.
Oh wow! Underneath the canopies there.
Where all the chairs are, they had them all sleeping on the ground there, and they had these mylar blankets that look like tinfoil, and there's no pillows, there's nothing.
We saw those kind of blankets before when Obama created the.
Yes.
Used those. It was blamed on the next administration, but actually during the Obama administration, those things were used a lot.
Yeah, you see them like during crisis preparation or emergencies when there's a hurricane or some sort of natural disaster. Those are the types of materials that they're giving to the migrants. So they're certainly not receiving the best quality of care. And but yeah, we've seen a lot out there.
And I thought I'd been told that there were 700 cots in there that could be inside. 700 was about. But we need maybe an open records request for what the fire
we
code
did,
is.
I've done a few open records requests already with the city. We were able to get the certificate of occupancy from the building. As it was last year when it first opened, the certificate of occupancy had a threshold of 707. So only 707 people could be in the building. Funny enough, Lori Houston would go on record, who's the assistant city manager and oversees the Department of Human Services and oversees this building directly. She would brag, I think, in the newspaper. She would say in the newspaper that 1,000 migrants are coming a day. Well, how is that possible? How are 1,000 migrants allowed here when the building only allows up to 707 people? So,
right, a great question.
So, yeah, lots of things I think need to be looked into this building. I'm interested to know what the certificate of occupancy is right now, because the last one was only a temporary certificate of occupancy. And funny enough, with the last certificate of occupancy, there weren't any, fire sprinklers weren't even required. It said that right there on the bottom of the certificate itself. So
if we're gonna signal that we're open to this, then we need to do what's right. There's quite a few people on that bus right there. You can see inside. I don't know if you can see inside the bus itself, but it's full, and there you can see some people.
I think they go back and forth to Eagle Pass, and we've seen other local NGOs, Eagle Pass, basically house a bunch of migrants, and a lot of the same buses, like school buses and other charter buses that we see coming here, are there as well. So a lot of these local NGOs, like Catholic Charities here in San Antonio, and like others along the border cities, are really the ones who are facilitating this process.
Mm-hmm. Hello?
I know we've requested a lot of information, a lot of which we haven't yet to receive, but we're going to continue now that the borders are seemingly open. I think we're going to continue doing some investigatory work.
So this is big business, right? I think Paul Covey and his family are making what do they make on rent? What do they get paid for the lease prior to the NGOs taking over when the city was paying them? What were they making per month?
If you look at the lease agreement, the base rent plus the additional rent adds up to about $1.3 million
per year.
Per year, annually, yes, sir. And the interesting thing about it's only an estimate. So. Tied to some of the operating expenses. So I would imagine the more people come in, the more you can report on your expense sheet, the more money you can ask for.
Right. The more water you use, the more power you use. When this used to be a CPS Energy building owned by the ratepayers and taxpayers of San Antonio.
And the funny thing about the water is I've seen city or the San Antonio Police Department bring in some water. You look at big crates of water, and it seems to be pitched onto a San Antonio fire truck.
Oh yeah, I'll get over there in a second. My camera's here working a little slower than we are. Okay, let me. So I'd seen before that those came in with trucks that said San Antonio Police Department on them before. Now these are trucks that say San Antonio Fire Department on them now.
Yeah, and they're both coming here. So I mean, and I've spoken to them many times, so many of them feel that they're already being stretched in. There's more resources.
I don't know if I got that in the camera or not, but I can definitely see the red truck, and over there where the water is, and just can't get above all these other vehicles. But that's all water there. It's not necessarily good for water to be in the heat like this, and the contaminants of plastic, that in itself. But so you're saying what basically we're taking all these people in, and as a country, a government. Federal government inviting them in, but we're not providing all the things that are good for their clean living and sanitation even.
That's exactly right. And what we've seen in the past too, when we have large groups come in at a time, the local churches, they do a good job in providing clothes and food to these people, but I think some of the unintended consequences of that is when they, like for example with the clothes, the people who are out here end up homeless ultimately. So they wear the clothes for maybe 2 or 3 days, but then they sweat, they perspire, they need new clothes, so they end up dumping the clothes here. Hey guys.
Hello.
How's it going, Patrick?
Hey man, how are you? Good. Going good. They're 5 at 5 o'clock here, and then they're going to go over to the airport.
You know what we need to do is go over to the mayor. I'm serious. I've talked to other people. I said, not here. Go to his house.
Go to his house?
Yeah, go up there. And you can park across the street.
Right. Right. That's right. That might be a good thing to do tomorrow or Saturday.
If anybody organizes,
all right, I'll let you know, Bob. Good to see you. How are you, Patrick? Good to see you. Thank you for your work out here.
Yeah, so what we just saw when there was large masses of people coming here last year was clothes spread out throughout the sidewalk here, throughout the parking lot, and when it got really bad toward the beginning, we even saw people on top of the migrants on top of the vehicles here, some of the employees that worked here at CC's at the time.
On top of their vehicles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
And what are these people doing down there by the dumpster way down there? What are they doing down there?
It's hard to say what they're doing exactly. Been down there, took a couple pictures. They told me to stop taking pictures. So
and you told them you're in the United States of America now, and you're in public property.
I continue to take pictures.
Yeah.
I continue to take pictures. But yeah, I mean, we don't know who people are. The group that's coming today that I've seen today, just from what I've seen, seems a little bit more combative. There was another group of males right here, and did the same thing. Took pictures of them.
Those are the ones I'm really concerned about. Yeah, I'm concerned about women too, but because of the change in the world and culture. But the children, children are beautiful, and they're being used as pawns themselves to get in here, to get in this country. Have you seen where those men? You can't tell if they have any young children with them or not. Maybe there's one down there, but mostly women over here, like this woman right here by the police.
We've seen, these migrants being picked up, and we don't know who's picking them up exactly. I've seen people with Texas license plates pick them up. I've seen people with other states license plates pick them up. I've seen people with Mexican license plates pick them up. I've seen a lot of that, and oftentimes you'll see children go into the vehicle with women and children go into the vehicle with men. So we don't know who these people are. We're supposed to give them these wristbands. But
if they're staying here, they get a wristband?
They get a wristband, but truth be told, those wristbands are often discarded. You see them on the floor here all the time. So
I wonder what these people feel that live there right behind where all those men are hanging out there, how comfortable they are with that. Loitering.
There's actually a woman there whose home is close to the facility here. She's about 90 years old. I'm not going to mention her name, but she's had people from the Migrant Center go and they've dedicated on her yard. They've gone in her pool to bathe, and we saw that last year when this first opened up. It was, at night, a lot of people would go knock on the doors here at the residential area adjacent to this facility, and they would knock on the door asking for money, food, supplies, and whatever they could get. So it was terrifying for a lot of the residents here, and a shock because they had no idea that the old CPS Energy building was going to be used for this purpose.
Yeah, and it's did we ever find out what is it on the tax rolls? What Paul Covey's company purchased this building? How much for? What was the value? What did they pay?
Some of it's been reported loosely, I believe, in the newspaper. So the figure escapes me right now, and those details escape me right now. But I think it was in the millions.
Yeah, I'm sure it was in the millions, and now getting if it's $1.3 million base rent per year.
Base rent plus the additional rent, but keep in mind too that the additional rent has no cap. So the additional rent is simply an estimate.
So, but at least the base is at least 1.3.
No, the base rent, I believe it was in the 800,000 range, but don't quote me.
Okay, so we're talking $80,000 plus per month in rent.
It's up there.
Okay, so before, as of July 7th, who was paying the rent?
I'm not
July 7th last year, my understanding was City of San Antonio, with the supposed verbal guarantee by the Biden administration that FEMA they'd be reimbursed through FEMA, and do it. Has that reimbursement ever come to the City of San Antonio?
I think the city has gotten I think it was recently reported that they did ultimately get a significant sum back, but it's been slow. But the FEMA grant is really what makes it all possible. The FEMA grant pays the city directly, but like you've seen, it's been kind of slow to come. So make no doubt about it, the city of San Antonio has been paying for this building directly.
Which means you taxpayers, San Antonians, have been paying for it. And that, as United States citizens and taxpayers to the federal government, to Uncle Sam, we're paying for it again. So we're not escaping paying for it.
Right, and that grant was recently extended all the way to December of this year, the end of December of this year. So I believe City Council voted on that back in mid-March.
So that information, when you submit now an open records request, and I believe George Rodriguez talked about this to me, was that these NGOs like Catholic Charities that are operating Migrant Services Center now are not subject to open records requests, and yet they have significant government contracts here that people have a right to know about.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So last year when we did our open records request, one of the things I asked for were for the salaries of the people working inside the facility. That included City of San Antonio employees, also the folks at Catholic Charities that work at the building as well. As Catholic Charities does operate or manage the information for both City of San Antonio employees and Catholic Charities for that salary information. Funny enough, after I made that open record request, I got a phone call from, I believe, one of the assistant city attorneys, and they told me that they were emphatic in saying that they were not going to give me any salary information as it pertained to Catholic Charities. They would be happy to give me city employee information as pertained to the salary of those who work inside here, but they were emphatic in telling me that they were not going to hold the Catholic Charities salary.
So these people are coming back from CC's Pizza. I guess that's a favorite, its closest restaurant, and coming back over here.
Well, CC's last year also offered a special for migrants. I forget exactly what it was. They get a large pizza and a drink for a certain amount of dollars, I think. And I think it saved them like $10, you know. But I think they had maybe a 50-cent discount for veterans.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was that government incentivized? Did y'all ask the manager?
You know what? That's a great question. I didn't ask.
Because I mean that's a lot of money. I mean, if it's their business, their money to do it, that's their prerogative. I'm okay with that. It shows a slant and a bias that they're not actualizing that they're actually discriminating against veterans and patriots and in favor of these other people. But it might be a gesture of goodwill because it helps keep them, they don't tear up their property. It could be a marketing reason for doing that. It could be a business reason for doing that. But if it's coming because they're being incentivized and reimbursed through FEMA as well, and a federal emergency management agency or something like that, then that's a whole other issue then. Now that truck moved out of the way, I should be able to get the, see if I can get the fire truck back there, and so everybody can see what we're looking at on the water. And so the red truck back there, the white cab, red truck. John saying that is a San Antonio Fire Department truck, and you can see that it's pulling water. So we got firemen, professional firefighters, and professional police officers who are being water boys and water girls, I guess, but not necessarily the best use of their talents. Sort of like military personnel being used to be waiters and waitresses at the White House, and not that they're above service of that kind, but is it really what they are best doing in providing for the defense of our country and the defense of our citizens and to protect and serve us? So there's some noise coming from over here, John, and I suppose we can walk over here and without a problem.
Picnic tables, I guess you would say, and a lot of them just come here to, for shade and for refreshments. There's a Catholic Charities mobile unit here.
Okay.
That provides refreshments and other means of nourishment.
So I see the logo next to the Ford logo of Catholic Charities and Archdiocese there, identifying the van. And then I guess they have some refreshments over here, and it's good to see children good to see the children here because we know they're not being abused. At least right now, not right now. They might be tools and pawns for these other people's hopefully their parents, but if they're not, we don't know if they're their parents, right? That's part of it.
I mean, yeah, we really don't know. A lot of the children ultimately kind of get used. The process in coming across the U.S. border is that much more expedient. So, and we've seen them, the same kid multiple times, being used by different people across the border. So ultimately, we don't know who these kids are. We don't know who the people, a lot of them are coming across. So it's really an unfortunate situation.
So I want to make sure, John, as far as you know, we're on public property right now.
Yes, sir.
And this is right away.
As long as we're on the sidewalk here, we should be fine.
Okay.
The cops really don't give me too much flack as long as we're here on the public sidewalk. Now, once you start kind of inching up toward the facility, but we're okay right here.
So you can see the mobile unit Catholic Charities showed you the Archdiocese symbol, but on the back of the mobile unit here, where they're making making sandwiches. It says mobile unit, Catholic Charities.
Yep.
And,
And if you notice too, Patrick, this black tarp wasn't always here. When the facility first opened up last year, there was nothing here. So people got a really good walking, exactly everything that was going on inside the facility here. But once there was enough media attention to drawn for what was taking place here, that's when the black tarp came up, and it surrounds
the whole facility. Yeah, you can see it all the way down there, and of course I've seen it since then, and since it was put up, and it was amazing to see. Now they're not doing a very good job of maintaining it. It's getting worn down there,
right.
And but I don't know how many people have to go through here, or who's responsible for that. If it's the Coveys and their business, or the tenant. But just so you know, viewers, the tenant, while the temporary tenants are here, these migrants, the illegal aliens, illegal alien immigrants, we're the ones paying for it. So you need to know, you deserve to know what's happening down here at the Migrant Services Center. The address here is 7400 San Pedro?
7,000.
7,000 San Pedro, the old CPS Energy building. So, John, you were telling me about, let's go back over here where we can see what's going on activity-wise. Hello. Welcome, United States. What do you have anything you like to say? Español.
So I asked him what country he's from. He said Venezuela. I said what brings him here, and he tells me. So in essence, what they're saying is they're coming in search for opportunity and employment.
And can you ask him? Did someone coach you on that, or is that truly what you believe?
I don't know if I can. I don't know the word coach exactly.
Or teach.
Alguien me enseñó esta. I don't know how you say response exactly, but but we typically heard that response again and again.
Right. That's why I'm asking. Is that a response? Is that from the heart? Or is it someone told you to say that? You can just hold it, yeah. So, what did he say?
He's saying that, again, kind of the same thing, that he's come here, they're young, they're coming here, they're trying to build a skill set, develop a skill set, and that's what they want to do.
No, ask you, what skill set, what do you want to do? If you...
So he's basically saying that they can do a lot of things, that they're well versed, they've got a versatile skill set, they can do a lot of things.
Okay.
No specifics exactly, but that's what he says.
Like building something, construction?
¿Qué puedes hacer? ¿Qué puedes hacer?
Cualquier trabajo, creo que nosotros vinimos acá a medirnos a todos los que sean, porque estamos capacitados para afrontar cualquier actividad que nos presente. Quizás no en estos momentos así un trabajo, por decirlo, lamentable del todo no, porque estamos apenas llegando. Pues creo que para lograr el éxito se necesitan procesos y perseverancia y constancia para así lograrlo. Pero de verdad pues agradecido por Estados Unidos porque sé que aquí nos brinda la mayor de las oportunidades para así hacer mejores personas y lograr un nivel exitoso en la vida.
So he says that they're coming here, the process, they're following this process, and they're going to just kind of see what opportunities have to go.
What's your first name? ¿Cómo se llama?
Y pues también vine pues porque yo pues en mi país soy una persona profesional, cuidado. Tengo una carrera universitaria ya
¿Es un estudiante?
terminada. Pues sí,
Okay.
pero por medio de la crisis como te comenté en mi país me tocó migrar y abrir nuevos horizontes ya que pues, no tenía la capacidad de poder desarrollar la carrera que yo estudié.
Okay. So he studied in Venezuela, right?
Which is where you're from. ¿Dónde? Venezuela? Venezuela? And how did you get here? How did you get to San Antonio?
¿Cómo vengas para acá?
¿Cómo vine?
¿Cómo?
Pues como le dije, pues como todos nuestros hermanos venezolanos y de otras naciones también afrontamos esta travesía y fue pues un camino difícil pero no fue imposible porque siempre pusimos nuestra conciencia y nuestro proyecto en manos de Dios. Y pues agradecidos que ya al llegar a la frontera logramos tener la comunicación con migración y pues al fin salimos victoriosos de que nos dieran el paso con esta nación para seguir avanzando, para seguir luchando por nuestro pueblo.
So you're saying that they basically walked over here, and then when they got to the U.S.-Mexican border, they were in communication with immigration, and immigration facilitated their crossing.
What was your border entry point? ¿Dónde?
¿De qué ciudad en la frontera vienes?
Vivo en la ciudad de Matamoros.
Matamoros? Y, how many miles did you walk? Or kilometers? Or
¿Cuántos milos caminos?
¿Cuánto camino? Pues la verdad, crucé 6 países. Exactamente no sé la cantidad de kilómetros o de millas porque es algo pues, muy difícil de comparar con muchos países. Pero lo que sé es que es un camino muy largo, pues muy difícil también de lograr. Pero como digo, no existen barreras y no hay imposible. Si lo quiere lograr, lo hace.
So he doesn't know the exact number of miles, but he says he crossed 6 countries to get there.
and, but some was on foot and some was by bus or.
Todo caminó todo el tiempo.
La mayoría de la parte sí lo caminamos. Pero más que todo
So he doesn't know exactly the percentage, how much they walked, but the majority of it was walking.
Usually walking in. Are these your compadres? Sus compadres? Walking? Y'all walk together from Venezuela?
Okay.
And did you witness any crime, any abuse of women or children on the way?
Well, I'm not the best translator.
No, you're doing good. You're doing much better than me.
But viste algo like muchachas y niños, crime,
Muy malo.
malo, algo así.
La verdad, en el camino, más que todo en la selva del Caribe, sí logramos ver muchas cosas, personas fallecidas, niños, o sea, personas con dificultades para caminar, ya que los pies, muchas cosas, y muchas cosas en la selva.
¿Qué cosas?
Muertos,
Death,
personas pues, agotadas ya que no rendían en el camino, o sea, y muchas cosas que en verdad eran como, a la vez eran como depresivas, pero a la vez también nos motivaban a seguir adelante y no darnos por encima.
¿Cómo se dice? Abuse of women?
Yeah,
Did he say?
so saw a lot of ugly things that involve women and children.
And what if you could give a número hermanos or hombres, mujeres y niños, cuánto para men, women, or children?
¿Cuántas personas vienen?
Yeah, if you had to break it up.
¿Cuántas personas en todo venían?
En el camino.
Sí.
La cantidad de personas, a veces cantidad de personas, no nada más nacionalidad venezolana, mexicanos, hondureños, nicaragüenses, salvadoreños, cantidades de nacionalidades.
So he says good
O sea,
combination.
una masa extensa de migrantes, demasiado grande.
Did you get a chance to help protect a woman or child on the Camino?
I'm not sure I was
Defienda sus mujeres y niñas en la camino. Su defienda mujeres y did you help protect them or defend them?
En el camino, pues, nos defendíamos todos como hermanos venezolanos, como cada uno de sus naciones se defendía contra nosotros. O sea, era como una unión fraternal, pues, porque desde que estábamos a la cepa, nos encontrábamos con cantidades de personas y en cualquier otro momento hacíamos las amistades, nos intercambiábamos palabras, nos ayudábamos entre sí, ayudábamos a las madres con niños pequeños, niños de meses. O sea, hubo una convivencia muy bonita, pues, porque hubo el apoyo. Quizás no apoyamos a todas las personas entre sí, pero sí hacemos el intento de ayudarnos entre todos para así poder vencer y salir de la selva.
So he said he did defend women and children and saw things. He couldn't defend all of them, but defended who he could.
Gracias para defender mujeres y niños. Y when you got to immigration, did they give you anything? Did the federal government give you anything?
¿Cuánto días duró la migración? Sí. Did they give you any papers? ¿Papeles? ¿Dio papeles?
Pues, el día que me entregué de inmigración, estuve detenido como 5 días hasta ya nos ingresaron los papeles y ya fue así que nos dar el paso a la
¿Qué papeles? ¿Qué papeles?
La verdad,
¿Esto?
pues,
¿Y qué es aquí?
es como la orden para el paso a los Estados Unidos, así que con el tiempo ir agilizando los...
Notice to appear.
It says here you are alien present in the United States who has not been admitted or paroled. And then it says here under it says the Department of Homeland Security alleges that you, it says 1, you are not a citizen of or national of the United States. 2, you are a native of Venezuela and a citizen of Venezuela. 3, you arrived in the United States at or near Brownsville, Texas on or about May 3rd. 4, you are not a citizen or national. So they're repeating that point twice to let them know they're not citizens. It says you are ordered to appear before an immigration judge on the United States Department of Justice. And it's got a New Jersey address, so it means you might go to New Jersey later. And, oh wait, it says on December 16, 2025, so that's about over 2 years from now, 2.5 years away. So yeah, so he's got a court date of about 2.5 years.
Do they give you a phone to contact you, or how do they contact you again?
Teléfono número para contactar la migración.
No telephone? No, not one of say you. So how do they? So con quién?
Yes. What do you do now is the question. In Nueva York? Okay, so he said right now he's waiting on the government to offer transportation to send him to New York. to be consistent with the court.
¿Y tus compadres también?
Ya que no contamos con los recursos necesarios para así poder llegar a todo esto.
Conocer, conozco, entiendes, hace mucho frío y en winter, how you say, en diciembre y noviembre y hace mucho frío y Nueva York. Yeah. No, you'll freeze. You're gonna freeze. So, le gusta Texas?
You like ¿te gusta Texas? Texas,
San Antonio.
De verdad, pues, en lo personal y también porque escuchamos comentarios de mis compatriotas, sentimos como un poco de miedo, sentimos como a la vez tristeza por todo lo que está pasando con los hermanos venezolanos, pero pues si está la oportunidad de quedarnos acá en Texas y conseguir un buen empleo, también lo haríamos, pero también cuidarnos mucho, pues, porque en verdad sí tenemos un poco de temor por todo lo que está ocurriendo.
Ya, gracias. Bueno, con mucho gusto. Patricio. ¿Cómo se llama? John Hyder. Patricio.
Safa?
Safa.
It's in Facebook.
San Antonio Family Association. So San Antonio. See, San Antonio Family Association on Facebook.
Oh, you want to write it down?
See. Have you eaten at CC Pizza? What, comer? Comer?
Pizza, yeah. No, pero hay pizza, yeah. Okay. I don't have any money to buy.
Adios. May God be with you. So very interesting so I'm sorry I was I'm challenged as with my Spanish. My daughters we went last year on a volleyball trip to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And a lot of you obviously speaking Spanish and my daughters were making fun of me the whole time. All three of them and they would laugh, go también, as in making fun of me.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the only words I know. But you did good. Thank you, John. That was awesome. And so what did you learn there that you hadn't known before?
Well, I didn't realize the court date was so far out.
Turn over here so I can get a better picture of the glares sort of
Yeah, I mean, the court date is 2.5 years away. There's a lot that can happen between now and then. And for anyone to realistically expect someone that they just let out to be at a place in New Jersey in 2.5 years, I mean, hopefully they get their transportation fixed. I mean, they said that they were waiting on the government to give them transportation to New York, but as of right now, that hasn't happened. And that's what we've heard consistently being here. A lot of them say, oh, well, I'm waiting on, a plane ticket or bus ticket to Miami or Denver or to, you name it, USA City. So they don't know. They don't really have a plan. They said they're just following the process.
So how do you think, I mean, obviously it said on there New Jersey on his papers, right? New Jersey. So he's saying he's going to New York. That paper says Newark, New Jersey. Yeah. Obviously not very, they're neighboring states, but there must be an allotment that goes through to give a certain number of allotment to Newark and whatever they're doing because Texas, we're receiving all of them here, but this isn't their destination point, thanks be to God, because we can't handle all of them. And I mean, we're called to love all people, but and I'm grateful to hear him say that he tried to protect women and children on the way. I pray that it's true, and I pray that he was that he did so, and because there's certainly, but many more were hurt that he wasn't able to help. Right? He said.
He helped as many as he could, but he couldn't help all of them.
Yeah, And so one of the guys he definitely was traveling with that was in the group there, the one guy. The other two, he didn't say where he picked them up.
Yeah, they took it to medical border, probably. I mean, he was saying that, you know, they walked the majority of the way and they were able to get some transportation, I think, in Mexico, is what he said. But he said that along that journey, you know, a lot of people would take a van along the way. So I guess they go to people's house. Kind of, you know, you hear the stories here where they have food and money and supplies. It's not so hard to fathom that because that's probably what they did getting up here.
Right. So have you seen, so this is being run by Catholic Charities, a NGO, a non-governmental agency, or non-governmental organization that is contract with the city in this case, and then reimbursed through Federal Emergency Management Agency or Administration, FEMA. Have you seen any priests or clergy come in to minister to these people?
Yes, yeah. A lot of the Spanish churches, they'll be out here. They've often dropped off like big buckets full of clothes. They'll drop them off here at the corners on Sundays behind the.
You want to go back here?
They'll have like a little mass service for people outside there.
Outside of Advanced Auto Parts?
Yeah, Advanced Auto Parts. They'll have a little Sunday service for them. There used to be like this little tent city. It's now, it looks like it's gone. Big sign on it says Durban commercial real estate, I believe. And so there used to be like a little tent city there, and the Catholic churches would go by and drop off food maybe twice a day. I especially see them on the weekends when they'd be out here. They bring in like trucks and they bring in like Mexican food and Jamaica refreshments, things like that. So the Catholic churches did play a big role in making they had clothes, making sure they had Sunday service, making sure they ate and they had water and refreshments.
That's all good things to do.
Yeah.
So let's talk, before I go on another point on that, let's talk about that tent city that was back there. It was really behind that white building over there, right?
Yes, sir.
And so it's on the road back there. What was that name of the road back there, parallel to San Pedro?
Oh, golly. Don't know the name of the road.
Okay, but it's the next road west.
Right behind Advanced Auto Parts.
Right.
Over here.
But what about the white building below the brown building up top? Is it in between? Is that the road? That's the road in between there, right?
Right there, yes, sir.
That's the road. So that back there, down a little bit to our left, the viewers left, is where the tent city was, right?
Right, to the right.
Oh, to the right. I'm sorry, to the right. Okay. So right, directly behind the Advanced Auto Parts then is where the tent city. But it's no longer there. You said, or
yes, they cleared it out. I guess when it got enough attention. Yeah, they had opened up the fence there, the fence line. There was probably about 20 people there at one point. A particular group from Venezuela sort of managing it. They were migrants. But they had cut a couple of slits open, and that's where they were coming through. Yeah, and then after receiving enough attention, and it started growing, it became more of a problem, pollution, became a big eyesore. That's when the city came and put a no trespassing sign. They had the cops here. I was actually here that day. They brought the cops out here, and all of them, they moved all of them over here to McDonald's. So there's about 20 migrants over here at McDonald's. They kicked them out of the little city there. And then McDonald's called the cops on them because McDonald's didn't want them on their property. And so then they were just kind of wandering. And
well, wait till McDonald's goes artificial intelligence completely, and your burgers are made. And they won't matter then.
I think there's some people inside were complaining because they had all these people lined up here. And, you know,
So here's migrants coming back across. I had seen one of the times I was over here and talking to people. I think it was here with George Rodriguez that time that there was a guy cutting hair over right below the sign, Advanced Auto Parts. Yeah. And he's basically set up his own barbershop there, obviously trying to make money.
Yes.
And trying to provide some sustenance for himself and whatever, and help people with their haircuts.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that out here. When I saw them, we were right over here, right up at the fence line. But yeah, I mean, that's great to see that sort of ingenuity and hard work, and a lot of them here do come with good intentions, but we don't know who we're letting in at the end of the day.
Right.
While others might search for an honest, line of work, not everyone's going to do that. I mean, you go anywhere, any group of people.
There's rotten apples in every bushel.
Yeah,
And
some good, some bad. So, and that's kind of what happens is when the borders open the way it is right now, the bad people see that as a vulnerability, and
right.
they're going to exploit it naturally. So naturally, you're going to have that element here. Now, there's going to be people here that are just trying to work, trying to support their family, search for a better life, like the gentleman behind us said. But that's not going to be the case with everyone.
Mm-hmm. And the other part was that there's a cause and effect. The cause is people are trying to migrate for opportunity, many of them. Some of them for ill intent and for bad intent, and possibly intent to harm other people as they use the situation. But for most migration used for people that want a better life, and that's why it's always safer for them to travel as families. Well, not safer, but we trust it more if they're in families, although versus parents sending their daughters off to come up here and be raped along the way, and I'm sure they don't realize that, or maybe that it's worth the risk for them.
Yeah, and we're naturally and rightfully so more sympathetic towards children. So when you see a child coming across the border, you want to help that person, but you don't always know who's accompanying that child.
Right.
And the people who exploit these vulnerabilities know our kid nature, and they're going to do what they can to get here.
So the cost to taxpayers is enormous, and our national debt is skyrocketing. Congress is right now, matter of fact, they just met with President Biden 2 days ago about coming to a resolution on the budget to increase the debt ceiling, and we appreciate the Republican leadership of holding fast and hard to not raising the debt limit until certain things are agreed to, and because we have to change the way we're spending money. We were just back in 2 administrations ago, we were at $7 trillion in debt. Actually, this was Bush 43, and we were at $7 trillion in debt. We thought that was a lot. We're now over $30 trillion in debt. Biden, Trump, and now, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and now Joe Biden, and now $33 trillion in debt. And we're spending money left and right, printing money left and right. Our borders open, the economy's hurting, inflation skyrocketing, and get this massive influx. Are you expecting a mass influx of people with Title 42 being at midnight tonight? Title 42 goes away at midnight tonight to start May 12th. What are you expecting to see tomorrow here?
I mean, it only makes sense. I'd be interested to know how many people are going to be coming through Eagle Pass, because I think, well, and it's not just through Eagle Pass. So the Department of Homeland Security, they'll bust these people from, entry points to Laredo, Eagle Pass, Del Rio. So that individual said he came in through Matamoros-Brownsville, and we saw a huge influx in El Paso. It seems like maybe El Paso is getting the worst of it, but yeah, we're naturally going to see the consequences of an open border policy and the Title 42 being lifted. It's only going to get, it's only going to exacerbate the issue.
Hello. Well, you were saying something about the place they cleared off behind Advanced Auto Parts, the Tent City. Hello.
Yeah.
Hola. You're saying that you thought they were clearing. It looked like they could be preparing to use it with an influx of people.
Yeah, just from my experience over there last year. So once people stopped coming in and it slowed down and it kind of locked it up, there's a back fence that kind of that serves as a border between. There's an area there that has asphalt, and then there's another area there with grass and trees, and there's a fence line that separates the asphalt from the woodsy area. That fence was taken down a few months ago, really quietly. Nobody brought it up. I took some pictures out there and videos, and just thought that was interesting, because when you go back out there, it opens up and it becomes almost like an entire city block. So the only reason somebody would do that, in my mind, is one, maybe they're expecting a bigger influx of people, and that area was served as a tent city, and we saw the Catholic churches, the different Catholic churches that were back there, that would also that would provide for them over there. So I think they're getting ready for more people. And when you look across that block, I know we're not there right now, but there's actually a school adjacent to it. So I don't know why you would get rid of that fence line other than to make more room for more people.
Right.
And it was done right after they closed it up. They sectioned it off, which was great. We should have done that at the beginning. But like you were saying earlier, it looks, there's a big sign there that says Jordan Commercial Real Estate. So I think it's been bought off.
Or up for sale.
Yeah, or maybe up for sale. And so we're gonna have to find out what's going on with that area. But I think they know what's coming.
So, did you see, since July 7th, when you started really coming out here, it was about July 7th, did you see any waves where it had an influx of people coming in and then tapered off? Anything stand out to you since that time?
Well, yeah, so July, August, September was the worst of it. What had happened was the neighborhood association behind us had a meeting because everybody in that neighborhood was concerned what was going on, and Mario Bravo attended that. Actually, funny enough,
That's City Councilman District 1, Mario Bravo.
City Councilman District 1, Mario Bravo attended that meeting a couple times, and I forget the exact date of that meeting. I think it was late July. But Councilman Mario Bravo had been there probably about a few weeks or maybe a month prior to that meeting, just before the facility opened. And they had a whole meeting. He briefed everybody on what the good things he was doing in City Hall. Never once did he mention this building. So that was his time to shine. But funny enough, he had voted for it in City Hall for this building prior to that meeting. So, funny enough, Councilman Bravo actually called me, and he didn't like some of the things I was saying, but it's the absolute truth. He voted for it. Then he went to that neighborhood association meeting, never told them what he voted for. Now, when he called me, he claims he didn't know what he voted for because it was on the consent agenda, and there's a lot of things on the consent agenda and he didn't know.
And now you're getting paid to do that now.
Yeah.
You get paid to be a city councilman.
But yeah, I just find it hard to believe that he had no idea what was going on. I mean, the building was bought off December of 2021. It's in his district.
I think that's political plausible deniability and just lying. This is in City Council District 1.
Well, and I saw, funny enough, the Coveys did donate to him, I think, recently.
You saw where the Coveys had donated to him campaign-wise.
One of the Coveys, yeah.
Well, we need if you would send that information to me. While we're thinking about it, you've been out here a lot. Where can people find your videos? I know you shared some with us that we shared, but where can they find more of your videos if they want?
Thank you, yeah. So I've got like a YouTube page under Jon Melendez, Jon, there's no H in John, Melendez. Or you can go to my Facebook page, find me there, Jon Melendez. I've also written some articles on infusesa.org about some of the happenings here.
We'll put them on San Antonio Femme Association as well, but the main thing is the videos are on YouTube at Jon Melendez with Jon, as in short for Jonathan.
Yeah.
Okay, and so there's a cause and effect, as we talked about here before. The cause is where the federal government's inviting people to come, basically sending the signal it's okay to come here, in what seems like political intent, a political mission to fundamentally transform our nation. Not that we're not a melting pot of people, and we are. And particularly San Antonio is very unique in that regard, and people get along great here. There's mishaps, but in controversies and fights, but for the most part, San Antonians get along with each other and out of brotherly love is where you live here. But this influx of people are coming because they're being invited here. You have NGOs, non-governmental organizations like Catholic Charities that say they're filling a void because these influx of people need to be cared for and taken care of and help to adapt to the United States of America. So it becomes, but it's also big money. Hundreds of millions of dollars we're talking about here, and one to be of service to and fulfill your mission to care for people. At the same time, you become a tool by the federal government to do exactly that. and to facilitate them coming in to do it, because the federal government can't handle it. They can't provide for them. It's virtue signaling at best that we want you to come here. We're going to take care of you and do all these things, but you've already identified that they don't have enough food and water and places to sleep here as it is, and there's some that are sleeping outside, as we talked about, as you mentioned earlier, and even hard for Catholic Charities and any other organization to keep up with.
Yeah, and in our interview when the tent city was around, a lot of the immigrants were telling me that they wouldn't get proper meals. So they would tell me that sometimes they get maybe a slice of bread and some juice or some water, and that would be about it. Sometimes now the San Antonio Food Bank is supposed to be providing meals. I think they've done that to an extent, but I just wonder if they provide enough, because a lot of the folks told me that there wasn't enough food inside the facility, and if that's the case, and if you get kicked out after 2 or 3 days, you've got no money, you've got no food, what's to happen?
Yeah, and when you get hungry, you will go where you see an opportunity to get food and to satisfy your hunger, and hopefully that's don't hurt anybody in the process. So, but you can see this crossing right here at San Pedro and Cage Road is very busy, and they're about to build here in 2026 via under their rapid transit will begin building on this 7-lane road, 7-lane avenue. They're going to start building a dedicated bus lane. We're going to have the turning lane is going to be a pavilion island for people to get on a bus. There's going to be a northbound and southbound lane for dedicated bus lanes. It's going to go down to 2 lanes of traffic on each side, and with no turning lane, and you won't be able to turn except at a stoplight. If this continues like this, it's going to add to the danger of crossing streets here. And I see people. I come down here every weekday. Come by here twice a day, every weekday, and I see people jaywalking all the time since last year. And it's just going to become more dangerous for everybody here. So, if we're really going to have people their best interests at heart, we have to provide safety, public safety for them, and especially for women and children. And then, if we're going to invite them here, then you go, oh, we have to provide food and water for them. Well, bread and juice is not the healthiest. It might fill some void, but it's going to have to be more than that. But you can see here. So what are these people doing? It looks like they have the same brown envelope. Did you remember either of those guys' names? I really couldn't understand them.
I don't think we asked them for their names.
I did ask him for their names. He did say it, but I wasn't able to understand him from my position. But anyway, at least two or three of them gave us their name. But they have the same brown envelope in their left arms, just like that one young man did. So I assume it's papers.
Yeah.
Court appearance papers. Yeah. Right.
Yes, sir.
And those were given to them at the border. It sounds like wherever the crossing point that they had.
Yes, sir.
And so these people in the same situation. I just got a man carrying a young boy who looks like the boy's hanging on to him like he knows him, and which is good that he knows him. These women and children certainly need protection on the way up, as that other young man stated.
And at least last year, Patrick, there was a Catholic Charities, one of the churches. We've got a building over here on French Plaza, French Place, and so a lot of them migrants would go through there, and they actually, I went over there to provide me with a pamphlet, and it's kind of a list of all the services and the resources that they're able to provide. So you go there, you see, they're giving food, they're giving clothes, they're giving water. There's programs available for them, utilities, programs for them to pay for rent. And I even met some people out here, some migrants from Venezuelan and other countries, and they were on Tinder already. So
you said they were on Tinder?
Tinder, the dating app.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I mean,
trying to get hooked up.
Yeah.
Is Tinder a dating app, a hookup app, or is it what? I hear more that it's more of a hookup app.
Yeah. So, and actually, I ran into a girl here in San Antonio locally, and she had told me she met a migrant on Tinder, and she felt bad when I think she gave some pillows or something. So
She went and met with him? That woman's brave. It might be a few screws short of a few cards short of a full deck to go do that. That's charitable as well, but not very smart. So you see all these brown envelopes and where people are carrying, but that's as that one young man showed us, they're carrying their court appearance papers in there. That's the documents that they were given to them from the federal government, Immigration Services, and they have a court appearance date. And this is the parking lot that they walked through. We got another bus. Let's see if it's full of people. No, it's empty. Well, it's partially. Some seats are empty, and some people in there, but mostly it was like a third full. Looked like 2/3 empty. And based on that, wonder where they're going. Any idea where they might be going? This has got to be another big. This has got to be another big contract here, John.
Yeah.
The Star Shuttle and Charter. That's another open register request to ask is what's their contract like?
In the hotels.
Yeah, in the hotels for sure. So this is the San Antonio Family Association and Patrick Von Dohlen visiting with Jon Melendez. Why we're doing this is because this is of major concern to the family, to families in the United States of America, primarily citizens and then other residents, and then because this influx of migrants, illegal aliens, but they're all humans, but some are here of goodwill and some are here of ill intent. And we have to be very concerned. It is definitely a national security issue because we do not know who these people are. There's too many of them coming across to take any time to investigate and find that out. Suppose they're going to do that probably at their court appearance date if they show up for it. But that guy's, what date was the day that the guy showed you?
Sometime in December 2025. I think December 16th. Right?
December 16, 2025 in Newark, New Jersey. But he's going to New York at 8 a.m. Like he's going to make it there. I don't have a whole lot of faith in that it's going to happen.
Yeah, who remembers it? I mean, heck, sometimes if I get a speeding ticket, I'll forget.
But he did say he did not receive a phone at crossing the border. He didn't receive a Biden phone or anything like that.
Yeah, he doesn't know what, he says he's gone through the process, he's hopeful, but he doesn't know what the next step is.
So my question is, and as we talked to him, did you believe him and the story he gave?
You want to believe him. I want to believe him. I've heard that same story again and again, almost verbatim. I heard it especially over at the Tent City, when I was asked to interview some of the people, the Catholic charities over there, the Catholic churches. I forget the name of the exact Catholic church, but they would put certain people in front of me, and those are the same people that they would put in front of other people again and again. So there are certain people that look to be trained to say certain things, and they want to say the right things. But not to say that if you interview somebody walking, who knows if they're telling the truth or not. But there are some people that are trained, like you would be out here, and when the cops kick everybody out of the Tent City, Catholic Charities called Telemundo right away. Telemundo was out there probably within an hour or two.
Wow, you knew that? You knew that? Somebody told you that happened? Wow. Wow. So, and that is newsworthy, no doubt. But what's also newsworthy is the impact to families and individuals here in San Antonio, across the United States of America, that are going to cost lots of money. You can't put a dollar figure on anybody, any person, but it does cost money to help support these people when they're coming here, and it's important to have an immigration process, but it's also important to have an immigration process that finds out who's coming in here and don't let bad people in here, and people that of ill intent we can't let in here. People.
And I would like to know a number. It's good that we want to help people, but you have to mitigate cost, responsibility. All those things play into it. So, when I do remember the city council saying, we're here to help one or we're here to help people, that's all well and good. But at some point, a number has to be mentioned, and it can't just be infinity amount of people who come in whenever they want.
Right.
It's got to be. We have to regulate this.
Well, it comes with a dollar figure to each of us, and but that vote that was taken to begin this process, I believe it was a unanimous vote, was it not, by the mayor and all 10 city councilmen?
Well, initially, yes, it's on the consent agenda, and it's sort of a procedural vote, but yeah, they all voted for it.
Yeah.
I think there may have been one abstention, if memory serves me correctly, but
Was it an absence or an abstention?
may have been an absence.
Yeah. And so approximate date of that vote?
That was, I want to say it was May of last year, more or less.
Liquid Waste Services?
Maybe April or May of last year.
April, May. And so we've had, have you seen the mayor or any city councilman come here to the Migrant Services Center?
No, but some of them have gotten tours of the building. I know Councilman Bravo's gotten a tour. I know other council members, I don't know if they want me saying their names, but...
Yeah, say their names. They're public officials. Absolutely say their names if they came in here.
Well, I know Councilman Terry got a tour as well, and, all the councilmen have told me that the facility is being professionally run, and that everything's on the up. But yeah, but we've seen here, we've seen people sleeping on the sidewalk here. Yeah, another thing.
I mean, anybody can camp out. That's not a problem to camp out, but for an extended period of time or.
Seemingly capacity. There is a threshold of 707. Last time we saw this, the temporary certificate of occupancy was at 707. But I know a lot of them end up
Yeah. So I see the men down here since we've been here. I don't know how long we've been videotaping here, but close to 45 minutes or so, or an hour now. But the house down there, they're no longer loitering down there by the house. I didn't see anybody come and tell them to move away. But the resident down there, the lady, the older lady that lives down there, I'm sure there's got to be a relief to her. But you said they come there all times of night, defecate there, and everything. But this is when they can only stay here for what, 2 days, 2 nights?
I think 3.
And-
They keep changing. I think at first it was about 5 days, and then I think before Grace and I think it's around 2 or 3 days. But yeah.
Give them some acclimations and then send them on their way, and they gotta hang out somewhere until they get their flight or bus ride to whatever state they're going to.
Yeah, and so again, it's really mismanaged because I've been out here for extended periods of time, and I come here almost daily, and for a couple hours here and there. But I would send people out for 8 to 2 weeks, and some of the people would tell me that they couldn't be down, but they would occasionally let them back in for showers, but they don't know. There's no way to keep track. We released them, 2 weeks ago. We released them 1 week ago. We released them day. There's nothing, because as soon as they're out, they tear their wristbands out, and they blend in, so they let them in. So they're not even really keeping proper track.
So we just got through an election this past Saturday, and fortunately, the people of San Antonio, 74% voted against Proposition A, which would have decriminalized abortion, marijuana possession up to 4 ounces, theft up to $750 per person per incident, vandalism up to $2,500 value per person per incident. And so we maintain some normalcy here and until they try it again. But that kind of stuff is still going on in here, and because they become desperate. But when these people get sent out and they have no place to stay, they're going to have to stay somewhere. And it could be your house. It could be my house, your house, whatever, at some point in time. And right now it's somebody's house, and right now it's this woman down here. Yeah. And other people of this area. We have a board member of San Antonio Family Association who lives down in this neighborhood behind here. And it's a serious problem. This is City Council District 1. 7 of the 9 city councilmen running for re-election got re-elected. Yeah. So 74% of the people who voted against Proposition A, we defeated it. Majority of those people still voted for the very councilman running for re-election who put Proposition A on the ballot. How crazy it is, the disconnect that people don't understand and don't see. because those politicians are flip-flopping.
Yeah.
They were for it. They voted. It was unanimous. They voted for it to be Proposition A to be on the ballot. They would say it's their ministerial duty. Our argument to Texas Supreme Court in our amicus brief to them over the issue was that there's no ministerial duty because it's unconstitutional. It's lawlessness. It breaks not only the U.S. Constitution but also state constitution and state statute, and it shouldn't be on the ballot. But they missed the election code cutoff anyway. So all these reasons shouldn't be on there. They use it as an excuse to vote for it, but they really were for it. They want it on the ballot.
More than half the councilmen voted against Prop 8, or voted to put Prop 8 on the ballot. Then about 2 weeks prior to the election, they came out publicly stating that they were against it.
Yeah.
Yet, majority of them voted to put it on the ballot. So
right, and there's an official vote. It is, so you can't believe it. And when they come to a public meeting like Mario Bravo did and don't admit it right up front and be candid.
Booed resoundingly.
Yeah, and be candid about what's happening. You might or might not have voted for it, but the least you can do is tell the people the truth about what's happening.
Well, yeah, you're public.
But he didn't talk about that.
He didn't talk about it. He claims, he had no idea, but he voted for it. And even maybe about a month after he voted for it, he had a meeting with the neighborhood association here, and didn't once mention it. He only talked about it once people began.
Well, and there's 2 city council districts going to run off this year. District 1, City Council District 1, which we're in District 1 right now, where this Migrant Services Center is, and just inside Loop 410 on San Pedro, about a 3/4 of a mile or a mile, and then District 7, but the woman in the runoff against Mario Bravo is farther left than he is, and so don't expect any change. A known quantity in this case might be actually the better quantity, although we were saying because all the councilmen running for re-election all voted to put Proposition A on the ballot, that was reason enough under principle to not vote to re-elect any of them.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to see if the Covies donate during this runoff.
That's where I'm getting at.
And who they donate to, because based on what I saw recently on the financial contributions page in the city of San Antonio, I saw Covies, donate to Mario Bravo recently, and to, I believe his name was, is it Roberts?
Jeremy Roberts, yeah, he came in 3rd in the District 1 race.
I believe I saw those 2 get donations from the Covies. Now that it's a runoff between that lady and Councilman Bravo, it'll be interesting to see.
So did Covey give any money to Manny Pelaez?
Not that I saw.
Because Manny Pelaez and Jeremy Roberts grew up together. They're very.
I've seen contributions made to Ron Nuremberg as of last year, I believe. Yeah.
From the Covies?
From the Covies. When you look at all the, you look at Kevin, you look at Beatrice Covey, Paul and Mark, the brothers, I think it was around $12,000 over last year, over a period of time. To
the mayor?
To Nuremberg, yes.
Wow. That's not even 1 month's rent here. So I mean.
Well, it's not a bad.
Total rent. The base rent, it's more than the base rent based on the numbers you gave me. But total rent with all the other stuff, it could be about the same amount as 1 month.
Yeah, it's not a bad investment. You get 12,000 Nuremberg, 4,000 after, 3 million.
And the Covies in this case are just one of the many big establishment contractors that they need government to be growing in order to be making money, and so that's where socialism takes over and starts interrupting our freedom and liberties, and where government has to continue growing. So, which is another reason we're glad Proposition A was defeated, because it was going to expand the size and scope of government with the Justice Director. So that's good. We saved that. But this is a massive expansion of government, and that's another reason where you have the people who are open borders proponents that are more about people outside the United States than they are for caring for the citizens, but also people that want to fundamentally transform our country, politicians and those left, radical left tend to be, want to fundamentally transform our country. That's where they come together, because they both get what they want. and government gets to grow because they have to control it and oversee it, and then business flows, and that's great for the big business establishment. And then these people that are ideologically bent on this kind of activity, they all win. It's a trifecta for them, and the citizens of the United States of America are going to pay the consequences, and families.
And as far as stadiums, when you look at the Ray Street Partners, you look at that past experience from that family. I believe they've owned manufacturing plants in Monterrey, Mexico. They own tons of commercial real estate here in Texas. They own, they own a lot of things, but they don't have a history of being humanitarians, and yet that's what they claim to be.
I was going to say that very wealthy family was what I understood.
Banking establishment family, and now this bank is the Migrant Center.
So they went from banking BBVA, and BBVA was sold to what is it, PCS or whatever it's called now?
I don't know. I know that her brother, I think, was like
okay, PNC or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's international tie, and then they go into real estate.
Yeah.
Well,
and now the processing.
Location. I'd say if they got a tip, it'd be interesting to ever find out if they got a tip to buy this place, because that was the tip of all tips. Big cash cow payoff for this building. Do you know how many square feet this building is?
No,
And when you saw the certificate of occupancy, the COO, whose name was on it? It wasn't CPS Energy, was it?
Shannon.
Yeah, Michael Shannon signed it probably, but he's the director of development services. But whose name was on for the COO, the certificate of occupancy? Who is the owner of the building?
Well, the owner of the building is Kobe's, located in Texas, but
was it their name on the
I
COO?
think it was Michael Shannon's signature.
But there has to be a business listed. Michael Shannon would have signed at the bottom.
Yeah.
But a business name has to be listed. I'm just curious if they're using the CPS Energy COO from before, or if they had to get a new one. We ran into this problem with Planned Parenthood in South Texas back in 2015, and actually 2014 when a fictitious company called Delantero bought that building at 2140 Babcock, and they took it over and bought it. I think it was November 12, 2014. And the only reason I remember that is my birthday, not 2014, but November 12th, and sticks out in my mind. But the certificate of occupancy was from the prior owner. They were never forced to get a certificate of occupancy from the current owner.
Yeah.
They just moved it over. They grandfathered it in. And so I'd be interested to know what business name is listed on it, whether it's CPS Energy or is it for Paul Kobe's company.
I've got it.
Okay. And the name of their company is called what again? KEM Texas. So Kilo Echo Mary Mike Kilo Echo Mike Texas. Okay.
Yeah. They also own Grace Partners.
So we've spent about an hour out here, and we've seen a lot of people come in and out. It's the humidity is bad, but the wind's blowing, the gentle breeze. It's fairly pleasant to be out here underneath the shade, and so we're just observing. Had an interview with a good conversation with a couple young men, one man in particular, and from Venezuela. Two of them were from Venezuela, and so any other observations before we wrap up, John? Any other observations people need to know about? And then who's making money off it, and who are they giving money to? Particularly political campaign contributions.
Yeah, exactly right.
But also, you could go back to, okay, the people that are vendors in here, are they giving money back to Catholic Charities? Not that would be bad. I mean, people should, it'd be it's a good thing to pay tithe, but it would be a kickback, and it's a kickback to the city councilman and the mayor. They just have blackout periods that they can't do that. But the fact of the matter is, it's easy enough to give the money outside the blackout period when they're not under a contract negotiation or an RFP, a request for proposal, whatever it might be. It's so shady. And if you make an ethics, which we encourage you, consider making an ethics complaint. And because the Coveys gave money, sounds like $12,000 in the last year to collectively to Ron Nuremberg.
Well, over maybe the period of 4 years.
Okay, 4 years. Okay, and then giving a city councilman District 1 Mario Bravo, who this is the district. You know, it could easily be political payback. It's a way to fund money and to launder money. It's another way to launder money.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, they're not giving the mayor money.
I'm interested by the shirts that everybody wears. The guy that we interviewed had a Star Wars shirt on, or what was it? Something Boba Fett, something Boba Fett.
Yeah.
This guy has a Nebraska shirt on. Another guy had an Abercrombie French shirt on. So. Another brown envelope there.
Yeah.
That woman's carrying, and
they do. They have at times. I will say inside. They have at times divided them clothes. A dead giveaway is. See this gentleman here, for example. He's got the gray sweatshirt.
Yeah.
There's been a few individuals like that we've seen already with that gray sweatshirt, and you'll see that they'll have the gray sweatshirt, the gray sweatpants. They'll have maybe like sandals like he's wearing right now. Those are probably provided inside the facility. So you see the other guy over there with the socks and the sandals.
Yep.
It's like he's got the same sandals. So they're probably giving those sandals inside. So when you see them all kind of wearing the same thing, you know that's what they were provided with inside the building.
Well, and certainly it's good to donate and get rid of what you don't need. I can go through my closet and donate a bunch of stuff too, and I have no problem providing that for people that are here to help them. But we can't be conduits to illegality. We cannot be conduits to lawlessness. And
and at least like you've seen here like these people, a lot of them. You've seen like construction companies, for example, like the trucks will come by and they'll just pick up a number of young men willing to work, which is great, but there's a reason that they're picking up people who are from this other country that they can pay less to. So these people are being exploited, no doubt. We've seen women, dressed, not a whole lot of clothes on, and they get picked up and dropped off as well. So,
no telling where they're going or what they're being paid to do.
We've seen women.
So this could be facilitating, could be prostitution, yeah. And because it looks like they're going willingly, is what you're saying, and so they're just earning money a different way and in an illicit way. And for Catholic Charities to be connected to that would be terrible. I know they don't want to be connected to that. That's not what they're doing. They would absolutely be against that. But at the same time, it's you got to have. Why aren't the police doing something about it? Why aren't the police saying,
It's been crazy that the cops hands were tied. I've spoken to some of them, and they've acknowledged that they know what's going on isn't right, but they can't do anything about it.
So the question is, why can't they do something? Our taxpayer dollars are paying for it. These are they're to protect and serve us and anybody that's here, residents and temporary residents as well, migrants. So why aren't protect and serve is their objective? Who at City Council is telling them not to say, not to, if the woman looks like, they know what a woman looks like if she's prostituting herself. They've done that, unfortunately. So why don't they investigate that? Why don't they question that? It's a dereliction of duty, but they're probably being told by the mayor. I would tell you, based on what I understand about city government, I would tell you, my estimation, the mayor said, don't touch them.
Yep. Yeah, no, they've got a stand out on it. They've essentially been told that whether directly or indirectly, but they know to let these people profit out of you.
And that's Mayor Ron Nuremberg, who just won his third re-election, his fourth term, 2-year terms. He's been to Washington, D.C. a couple times recently, like he's almost interviewing for a job in Washington, D.C. And it would be terrible to see him go. Not, but
It's an audition.
it does seem like to be an audition. One of our committeemen said, well, he didn't even know what to wear to a black tie affair, and you got his attire. They're and ban the non-discrimination ordinance here soon, based on 7 of the 9 incumbents already got reelected, and one more going for reelection here in City Council District 1 in the runoff. But if they get their way, they're going to say elections have consequences. That means that you approve of what we're doing. You approve of you approve of the Migrant Services Center. That's what it says. You reelect them. You approve what they're doing with the Migrant Services Center and what's happening here in this open border situation.
Well, and I think it's worth mentioning that, this Councilman Brado is just, he's one of the 2 sitting council members well, he's the only sitting council member that.
So, okay, we got a truckload here coming in. Looks like they're dropping them off.
And you'll see oftentimes when people are being picked up, they'll often have like red, white, and blue balloons, stars and stripes. But it looks like these people are being dropped off. My process is that they're being dropped off here, and
interesting that in this technological world we're in, that something positive. Somebody helped them get here. The question is, whose red truck is that? In the gray cap, he's the driver, the purple shirt. And what's he doing with them? Did he employ them for the day? Did he take them to lunch? But that's the owner of the vehicle right there in the gray cap, purple shirt. They just took a selfie with. So now that there's more, I can even get closer over here to the fireman's truck. You can see the seal now. So back to the water truck, pulling water. You can now see the emblem of San Antonio Fire Department, just for proof. There, San Antonio Fire. San Antonio Fire and San Antonio Police are being water pieces of water, big things of water back there. And so, anything else you observe about these people here?
no, not really. We don't know what if they've already been here or if they're just arriving.
They're not. Yeah, they're not.
If they're just arriving,
They'll go straight over there.
Come over here and drop off at the front. My guess is that they've already been here. Maybe they, like I've seen construction companies or landscaping companies pick up these men. I know this looks like a business vehicle. I see a logo off to the side here, left-hand side. So they might be being picked up for work, but I'm not really sure what the purpose is. I'm not really sure. They're all wearing different clothes. So there's one woman there as well. I'm not sure how much work she could do.
Okay, so they are getting in line, but I don't see any brown envelopes.
Yeah. I don't see
Guess they could have them inside with their belongings.
Yeah, and it looks like they get that documentation at the moment they cross the border.
So here's a Mercedes with no license plate on the front, pulling up. Are they going to drop off or are they going to pick up?
The Texas plate, so it's probably a local company.
On the Ford truck? So we'll see who's going to pick up. What do you think these people are doing here in the black Mercedes? Looks like they're going to come up for a pickup. Okay, SABD's coming over to ask
Yeah.
what they're doing.
And, I think it's worth mentioning, too, that the city's inspector's supposed to be here, I think, once a day.
Once a day.
And so, I know we've been out here, and you'll see a bunch come out all at once. Maybe, like 100 of them, just all over here. But they leave the facility all at once, and I wonder sometimes whether or not they kick them out of the facility right before the inspector comes, because they know they're at capacity.
So we got temporary tags on this vehicle. There's license 2784P. And there's a temporary license tag, and they're off they go after they pick someone up.
Let me check.
What's the question?
She's asking me if there's a dollar store anywhere, or if there's any place where maybe people leave some clothes, like some used clothes.
Yeah.
So I don't know of a place right now. I know the Catholic Church sometimes comes out here and drops her off. But,
What kind of clothes you looking for? Baby clothes?
She said económico. She don't want to be filmed.
Okay.
So yeah, she likes these clothes.
Used clothes. I'm not, but baby clothes?
She's
Niños?
asking, para usted o para para quién?
Sí, para niños.
The church, Catholic Church, Blessed Sacrament. Sí, católica. ¿Cómo se dice? Conozco católica. Catholic, católica. Catholic Church. Iglesia. Iglesia. ¿Cómo se dice? Pepper in her hand, and out of concern for her, certainly you don't want them being pursued.
Pregnant women lying out here on the hot asphalt.
Lying out here?
On the hot asphalt.
Why would they be lying on the asphalt?
I don't know. They've been out here.
Did you talk to them, or?
Yeah, I took a picture. It's actually a picture that I put on one of my DVD articles.
What are this guy doing over here? Way down there, like employees.
Oh, the guys in the blue shirts?
Are they security?
In the blue shirts?
Yeah. Are they? I think probably just observing things.
They're behind us.
Yeah. So literally, a pregnant woman laying out on the hot concrete sidewalk.
Her, I guess, boyfriend?
Was she hurt?
No, but I woke her up, talked to her for a little bit. I think her and her boyfriend were a little high. Maybe they're still...
And she's pregnant. She's I saw a guy last year when he was on the over here on by the sign where it says Big Lots, and over there, and I saw him on the median on the grass side towards the road, and he was laid out there and everything, and to help him. I mean, he's just out of it completely, like he's on drugs.
You've seen those like those CBD canisters?
Yeah.
You've seen them lined up here, like.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're
People are throwing them in trash, or somebody's throwing them to them.
Well, you know, the trash can out here.
Yeah.
With the trash can, and I showed one of the cops. I said, "Hey, guys, this is what's going on out here." And one of the cops threatened to arrest me because I was holding it, but I was just trying to show him what's out here on the ground.
Well, how ridiculous is that for him to say that you're holding it and doing that? So quite a bit of activity going on right now here. That red truck license plate number. If for documentation that dropped off six of these men that are in line right there, and looks like RHZ 7121. I got to put my glasses on to be sure. Let's see here. Yeah, RHZ 7121. Radar Hotel Zebra 7121. And that's a red Ford pickup truck. Can't tell, is that an advertisement on the back right windshield? Driving passenger? Yeah. Advertisement. Okay, this is the guys right here, and so they're going in. They're all going in now. And the guy that's here, looks like all the people they brought over are going inside. They all got cleared to go inside. They're excited to have been with him. He must have fed them good. So you don't recognize that guy right there?
No, he doesn't look familiar to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that guy's got a wristband.
This another guy right here walking in, got another brown envelope with his court appearance date for 2.5 years from now. So, like the guy from Venezuela. And probably in Newark, New Jersey too. And they're going to find out it's real cold up there at that time of year. And okay, well, I'm going to put it back on us, and we'll wrap up here and real quick, and then head on. I got to go pick up my wife's. Needs me to go pick up kids today, and let's see. We'll get these guys in the background. Here, stay where you are. Say if you would stay where you were. I'm going to get these guys in the background here, and okay. Okay, on time, and This way you can see the activity coming in here. So we're looking at the wristbands here. Maybe it's a different day they came in on.
I'm thinking maybe there's a color for each day of the week. Who knows?
Yeah. So you see the yellow wristband there on the left hand of the one guy, the gray shirt, and the purple wristband on the guy with the black shirt. He's got his phone in his hand right now. I'm sure they all have phones. And then where'd the other guy go? Oh, you can see the purple wristband now. He's holding up his hand. And that guy's definitely not from Mexico. He might have come through Mexico, but he didn't. He's more than likely from another country than Mexico. And so this guy that's here with the gray cap, purple shirt, he's very comfortable here.
Yeah. And he seems to know these people already.
And the guy with the Dallas sweatshirt on has a purple wristband on. He does seem to know them. They were certainly very friendly as they departed. And
this guy with the gray shirt's been here a while.
So two of them have purple, only one has yellow wristbands. Some kind of color coding. All right, so we're going to wrap things up here with a few comments. And go back right in front of that tree there, John. Stand right here in front, right here. Come this way. There you go, right there. Great. Okay, again, I'm Patrick Von Dohlen, and you can find more of his work at YouTube and Facebook. And so for this video, which was put on right now, it's streaming live on Facebook, San Antonio Family Association's page on Facebook. We'll put it on Facebook and my YouTube and Rumble as well. We'll link it on our Twitter page as well. Hopefully this has been informative to you. We bring this to you based on the fact that every American citizen should be very concerned about what's happening here. We have an open border protocol already in the Biden administration. Title 42 expires tonight at midnight, and there's no telling what's going to happen. Supposedly there's like 700,000 people waiting at the border right now. They're going to come across, and many of them are going to come across through San Antonio. We're not a border city, but we might as well be in Mexico at this point in time. And the influx of people is going to be so extreme that it could negatively impact you and your house. It's impacting you already. You might not feel it yet, but we're already paying a lot of taxes locally and federally to help support these people. We want to help people. Yes, we want to help people. But going back to when we began this conversation, Catholic Charities that operates the Migrant Services Center is a Catholic organization, part of the Archdiocese of San Antonio, and they're making lots of revenue flowing through there. And I know a lot of people involved, they want to do good. They want to do good by the individuals. They believe that they're fulfilling a role here, that there's a void of people not being taken care of. The government can't handle it. I agree with that. But at some point in time, we also have to be careful we're not facilitating illegal activity. Not only domestic illegal activity when they're here, but also international illegal activity with illegal immigration. You can't be party to that. A former Pope of the Catholic Church, Pope Leo XIII, 1891, wrote a document called Rerum, that he called Rerum Novarum, that's on labor, and particularly migrant workers in labor was really what it was dealing with. We're dealing with migrancy here. And he said that people have a right to migrate. And countries have a right, duty, and an obligation to protect their borders and regulate who comes in and out for the benefit and protection of the citizens that live there already. So that's a delicate balance, but our country is not protecting its borders. Our federal government under the current administration, the Biden administration, is not protecting the border. not regulate the border. We have people coming across. We do not know who they are. They could be here for a better opportunity, like a young man who had good talking points from Venezuela. He had talking points like many of the people that come across. I believe him. At the same time, I've heard that same thing from so many people. It makes you wonder. And he said it sincerely. He said it came from the heart. What I was on, what he said, and so we want to believe him, but it seems like they've all been given officers. Well, I talked to a girl before, and a woman before who said she interviewed women who came here and had been raped. Some of them had gone through abortion through the cartels have abortion as a big employee, and then had an abortion. They said, well, in their situation, they sacrificed and risked life and limb and their virtue in their bodies because they were being abused at home already. That's not happening to everybody. In this case, they were. So they took the risk. Right. It's always greener. That's not green on the other side of the fence. Right now, on this side of the fence, I know cafeterias probably doing the best they can, but they might not be so greener. And they might be surprised. They might be putting this in a couple days. They can't stay here but for a couple days. Most of them are just employees, but it's a question for the Archdiocese, for the Archbishop. He needs to answer that. How much money is the Archdiocese making because they don't protect charities, which is the success of the Archdiocese, and how much of the contract with each other people deserve to know, because a lot of the same people that are involved are giving money to Catholic charities, donating to Catholic charities, and Catholics want to know they give to their parishes. They give to Catholic charities, and the Archdiocese and the Archdiocese. So people deserve to know. The Archdiocese needs to answer the question. And that's not necessarily employees here, but at the same time, filling a void, we can't become facilitators and conduits for illegal activity. There are women and children being abused here, on the way here, and over there. And that's why San Antonio Family Association is involved, because we care about individuals and families, and the family units being destroyed through this process. And parents are paying for their children to be taken up here, and they get abused on the way up here. Destroys their future. And when they're coming here, we're supposed for a better opportunity. So as people of goodwill, as people of peace, we encourage you to learn more, seek out more, to contact your local elected representatives and demand of the county, demand responsibility for this. They voted for it. There's a big government contract for the old CPS Energy building here to the Paul Cody family and the KEM, Texas. Their corporate name. Over $120,000 a year. Over $1 million a year. Over $1 million a year in government contract. That's a lot of money. But it's just renting the building, not anything else goes along with that. Catholic charities serving lots of people here now. There's a lot of money for that. Supposedly all being reimbursed through FEMA, the federal government, but you're still the taxpayer, you're still paying for it. So it's locally or federally, you're still paying for it. It's a matter of whether the city of San Antonio gets reimbursed. In this case now, the city of San Antonio has turned over management of the Migrant Services Center back over to the Catholic charities, whether the Catholic charities get reimbursed or not. I know I saw a vote come through City Council recently, last month, of money coming through to reimburse them. And so, yeah, right. So we need to make sure we're holding people accountable. These are public dollars, taxpayer dollars. When it comes to that, we have to demand Archbishop, and I love the Archbishop. He just confirmed my youngest daughter just 2 Saturdays ago, and I'm grateful for him doing that. At the same time, we need to ask the question, where's the money going? What can Catholic Charities do to provide more than some juice and a couple of pieces of bread, if that's all the food they're getting here? What else can be done, and what else is being done? Where's the accountability? With public funds comes greater accountability, and that's only logical. So, on behalf of the San Antonio Family Association, myself, Patrick Von Dohlen, and Jon Melendez, thank you very much for watching, and hope this has been educational. Pray for the safety of the citizens of this country, residents of San Antonio, and for the people that are migrating through here. But we deserve to be protected and served by the San Antonio Police Department, by law enforcement here, as well as anybody else migrating through. Public safety is number one, and that costs money. Thank you very much for voting against Proposition A. We've got so much work in this area. Thank you, Betty, for your work in Newark City. She deserved, and all seniors, this Older American Appreciation Month. We need to protect them, women and children, and everybody. So, we have that. Follow more information at San Antonio Family Association, as well as Instagram at San Antonio Family Association, and YouTube, Rumble. Thank you very much. May God bless the USA. May God bless San Antonio. May God bless the citizens of America. And may God bless and protect these migrants as well. Get them to back home if necessary, because that's the best thing for them. Get them in the place where it's best, be best for them. God only knows. With the work of the Holy Spirit, please infuse that knowledge upon people making the decisions to help those people get to where they really truly be best for them. And on Twitter, @SafeAFamily. Say again? Okay. Oh, yeah, we've seen a half dozen of them who've done that. Turned the wrong way. So, truly, we as people of goodwill, and people of peace, we pray for these people. And we ask the Holy Spirit to be with them and guide them, our advocate. And during this season of the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ, this Easter season, we rejoice in the resurrection of the Lord. Thankful for God to all of us, and we want to share that. At the same time, we want to protect the country, protect the citizens of America, protect their families, and there's a delicate balance there. And primary though is people already living here, citizens of the families, people living here are visitors at this point. And as St. Leo said, people have the right to migrate for a better opportunity for their life. Countries have the right to an obligation to protect their borders, protect their citizens, protect the citizens who already live there. And the Good Samaritan did in the Bible, he helped a man who had been beaten up by the robbers and robbed. He helped him right at an inn in his own country. He paid the innkeeper to help care for him, and he said on his way back, if it cost him more money to survive for a person in need, he would have reimbursed the man. But he did so in their own country. So let's look for other ways to help provide a greater opportunity for people in their own country of origin, and preserve their life there and improve their life there. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I'm Patrick Von Dohlen. May God bless you throughout this Easter season, and may God bless Texas and San Antonio. Adios. Thank you, John.